Hey, what's this show about?
Everything!
And the kitchen Cinco.
In 3, 2, 1. Hey, what's up, everybody? Cinco here with Everything in the Kitchen Cinco. Tonight I'm going live with Rojo Cova, and we're going to go through AWOL, which is a comic that he's kickstarting right now, and I had the privilege of doing a variant cover for. Let's get Cova in here. Cova,
Yo, can you hear me?
I can, man.
Awesome.
What's going on?
Not much, man. How's it going for you?
Pretty good, man. I'm assuming you just had to put the kids down, right?
Yeah, I had to put him to sleep. Just got him to sleep.
Nice. So I always start off just by having people introduce themselves, assuming that people don't know you, just in case they don't. So go ahead and introduce yourself, and I'll pull up the Kickstarter once you're done.
Oh, yeah. So, what's up, guys? My name is Rojo Cova. Mainly, everybody just calls me Cova. I'm a cartoonist, comic book artist, writer. I also do comic book YouTube stuff. So I do deep dives on like comic book lore and things of that nature. And then right now I'm running this Kickstarter for my comic AWOL. Yeah.
Your YouTube is called Cova's Corner, right?
Cova's Lookout.
Cova's Lookout, my bad. Yeah, it's really good, man. I love watching your videos. They're in-depth video essays, basically. You always kind of have like simultaneously you're going after things you're interested in, but you have like a really thoughtful take on whatever it is.
Yeah, I mean that was kind of like the point of the channel was to like talk about comics or like comic book lore is what I like to call it, but also give like my own like spin or like twist on like the issue at hand or the topic and kind of give a different perspective on it. That's not just like, oh, this guy did this or this character is about this. Just do more deep thought analysis on the whole genre to kind of make it seem, because I feel like comics is more deep than just like superheroes and stuff like that. So that's what I like to do, or I try to do at least in my videos.
Yeah, we got to talk more about that because there's some every single one I've seen is excellent, man.
Appreciate it.
But first, let's just quickly go through your Kickstarter because that's kind of what we're kind of promoting here right now tonight. Mm-hmm. This is issue 1 of your comic AWOL.
Yeah.
And right off the bat, I'll just say like you're pretty close to your second stretch goal. Your second stretch goal, I think, is 2,000.
Yeah.
And if you get up to that, you're gonna basically give everybody a copy of issue 2, which is already done. Is issue 2 already done?
Yeah, so issue 2 is pretty much done. The only thing I would have to do is just get everything ready for print. That would literally be it. So I'm done with issue 2. I'm currently working on issue 3. And most of that I'm at the penciling stage right now. So I got about like 50% of the book penciled. And then the way I work is like I print out my stuff in blue line, then I'll ink it. So, but that even doing the inking is literally like, that wouldn't take me as long because after that it's pretty much just like literally just filling it black at that point, So I'm damn near almost, like I'll be done with issue 3 by the end of August. And then issue 4 probably by September.
That's amazing. That's so amazing, man. I can't believe you're already that far ahead. Yeah, that's like, I feel like a lesson for a lot of comic creators. It's like, get ahead of yourself like that if you can. This is
I always try to like stay ahead before I even start promoting like a book or like start putting the comic out there. I always try to like at least have like the first issue done, or like, it depends on like if I'm doing a one shot, I like to have it done before I even promote it. And then if I'm doing like a series, I will try at least have the first 2 or 3 issues done before I start promoting it out there, just because I want to be able to drop consistently or have a consistent thing going,
Yeah, I know we're in the Kayfam collective together, and I think I've heard you mention in the chat how it's like a major foul or a major mess up when you promise when you do a Kickstarter, you get your money and you never deliver at all, which is something that's happened throughout Kickstarter's history, I guess you would say.
I've only backed one campaign where I didn't get the book, and I think that was only because, the guy, he went to go work at like IDW or something like that, or Dark Horse, and just some comics there. But I still think it's kind of messed up. Like, you should have at least had the book done or refund the money or whatever. But I think most people should. Well, I mean, I guess it depends on what you're trying to do your Kickstarter for. Because some people, they do the Kickstarter just to get money to bring the book to life. Mostly those are people who are like just writers and stuff like that, who don't have the money to, like, they have to pay for their artists, which I understand that situation. But if you're like a writer creator, like you're making the whole thing by yourself essentially, you should have it done before you even kickstart it, because you're not losing any money or investing any money up front to get the book done. You know what I'm saying? So like, if you
Yeah.
don't have it done when you're while trying to kickstarting, you're kind of like fucking yourself and everybody else who's gonna back it. You just waste more time in between. You know.
Yeah, I'm with you 100% on that, man. So this is basically an animated GIF you made showing the all the variant, your cover and the variant covers, which is really dope, man. I love this. I was actually going to ask you if you could send me this somehow so I could make a post with this as well, or tag me or something, because it
Oh
looks
yeah,
really
yeah, I
cool,
can for
man.
sure. Yeah, like as I was like going through like the campaign, you can still edit like the homepage as you go. So I was like,
Yeah,
I think somebody in our Kfam chat sent like this Kickstarter page that had gifts on it. And I was like, oh man, I know how to make gifts. So I was like, let me make some cool ones, and then I added them to the page. I feel like it just adds more oomph to like the page. As you're scrolling down, you kind of keeps your attention. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's the name of the game when you're building your like Kickstarter page. You're like, want to have as much stuff on it to keep people's attention, but not too much to like push people away, or like it makes it hard to get the information across. You know, like I wanted to keep it super simple. Like, here's what it is. Here's the couple pages. Here's some the variant covers. Here's the prices of everything. Here are the you know what I'm saying? I wanted to keep it like super simple, like scrollable. You know what I'm saying? As you scroll through it, it's like
yeah,
super simple and easy. Not too much text or writing, or like too much overloaded information. You know.
yeah, man. So we got your cover for
Mm-hmm.
15 bucks. We got and then the variant covers are 20 bucks a piece. We got our homie Jeremy Heiler popping in with his hot cover.
Mm-hmm.
Nice color choices, man. We got I know you consider him like a mentor, our homie Brian Moss, who's the leader of the K Fam.
Yeah.
His cover his work is always so fluid, man. He's such a
Yeah,
real artist.
he does
He's an
like a good job
artist.
of just like super abstract, but also keeping it tight at the same time. And he does it so quickly that it always just
Yeah,
baffles me when I see him drawing it. Like, he drew this cover on stream, and I was just like, bro, like what the hell?
yeah,
It's super dope.
yeah. He's super dope, man.
Yeah,
Shout out Brian Christopher Moss, man. And then we got mine, which
yeah, your
was
cover
an
is
honor
sick
to
too,
do,
man.
man. I
Super
threw
sick.
in my signature purple hoodie. Like I got friends who sort of tease me or make fun of me for wearing this lavender hoodie all the time. And
Yeah,
it was just like, it hit me like, why don't I just throw this on this cover? Like, I can always use it again.
yeah,
But
he kills it, man. That shit is like a movie poster.
word. Yeah, so you got a bunch of tiers which people can look through. Um, I think people should get all the covers. They should go for that tier.
Yeah.
It is 70 bucks, but it's worth it. Definitely worth it. And then you're doing things like original art, which,
Mm-hmm.
for 160 bucks, that's a good deal, man. I'm always trying to get artists to sell their art for more money, but I know when people are just getting started, they feel like they should start lower. Um, and then,
Yeah, I
oh man, I
mean,
forgot to actually break out your because I have your physical comics. I didn't bring they're in a box. I could pull them out if we want to look through them at some point. But yeah, you're offering that as some what do you call it, the add-ons,
yeah,
which
yeah.
is cool.
Add-ons are definitely like cheat codes, because like I think that was like when I talk to people about Kickstarter and stuff like that, like having add-ons is like a very helpful, because some people could buy the comic that's also being promoted, but then they can add on like, oh, you have a bunch of back catalog of stuff, and then they'll want to like check that out too. So it helps a lot with sales and stuff like that, and reaching your goal on the campaign. You know.
Yeah, man.
So, yeah.
And then we're offering a copy of my comic Neon Spring issue 0, which is I think we said that we limited the amount of tiers, but if you're down, it's totally your call. I'll match every single every single backer. So if you're
Yeah, man.
down with that, we could
Yeah, it's
just
up
give
to
it.
you. It's however money you want to send out. I mean, I think it's cool. I really appreciate you doing that, man. Honestly, I really appreciate your level of it, like helpfulness and investment in like helping me promote the campaign. I feel like you were like, I mean, not just you, but like everybody that's been involved, that's
Yeah,
done like helped a lot with promoting and stuff like that. And I feel like that's super dope. I feel like gracious, for all that the help and feedback that everybody's been giving me so far. And I think it's really helped like make it more of like a community thing, other than just me like asking for money. So I think
yeah,
it's
man.
pretty dope.
Yeah, Kickstarters when they're done right, it is more than just asking for money, and it is like you're interacting with your community on another level.
Yeah,
Um,
sure.
so yeah, you've already hit your first stretch goal, so we all get a sticker pack, which is cool.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know, for you, because I'm rooting for you, I don't want you to have to give away issue 2 like this, but at the same time, like, you know, I want it, and I love this cover, man. This looks so awesome.
Yeah.
It's just exciting when you're putting out issues, when you love comics the way we do, and you start actually putting out your own stuff. Like, I can't wait to be at your level where I have issue 2 out, man. It's gonna feel so good.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like really, because I want to, because I already have it done. I was like, well, might as well just put it on there as a stretch goal, and just I can get it printed now and then just have it for, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just to have it, you know, because if you like realistically, I'm not gonna be like giving away all my copies, you know.
Yeah.
So like it would be cool just to have them on stock, and so I can start selling them now until I get to the, you know, the next 2 issues and stuff, you know. And honestly, I'm like, the whole goal for the campaign isn't just like just to make the money. It's just to get everything printed and to be able to get the books to people's hands. You know, I feel like that's the biggest thing for me, is like
Yeah.
getting the books out there, not just like making $1 million off of one issue. Like, I want to be able to have people read it. I want to get people's feedback. I want to see people, you know, talk about it and stuff like that. And I feel like that's like the biggest thing, because obviously this isn't like my first project, and this isn't going to be my last one either, you know. So I
Yeah.
gotta be in the collective ether of comics, you know.
What's this second, the last tier? What is this
So
book?
this is like it's an art book. So I did a bunch of pieces earlier this year of like pinups and stuff like that. Like, I was posting on my YouTube community tab of like, all right, what characters do you want me to draw? And so every
Nice.
comment somebody put, I was just drawing those characters. I did it for like maybe like a week and a half. I did like probably like 20 pieces of just like random characters. They're from just like different genres, like Tekken characters, Marvel, DC characters, people from like Doom Patrol, and just stuff like that. And so
Nice.
it was a cool exercise, and I made it a digital book on my website. You can download for free, but you know, if we'll get to that point, then why not just print out a little mini zine copy of an art book? I think that would be pretty cool. So essentially, like, if we get to that point, people are gonna get like 4 books just off rip, just for like backing, you know, one. So really, I'm giving a lot for this campaign for what I'm, you know, asking for, you know. And I mean, like, again, like, I'm really just trying to get like my work out there. I'm not trying to hold on to it and like make a lot of money. Like, I'm not here to make a lot of money, you know. That's not the goal right now. My goal is to get myself and my artwork out there to as many people as possible, you know.
Yeah, man. And I read your risks and challenges. This is what's up, man. All artwork is done and complete. This campaign is just for printing and shipping costs. I've self-published many comics, so this is not my first time creating or printing a comic. With your help, we can bring this bad boy to life. I love that, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. I hope everybody. I hope we can get some new backers for you. I'm gonna definitely post this on YouTube, because I know, like, Instagram Live is kind of hard for people to absorb sometimes. So I'll get this on YouTube, and that's where more people will hopefully see it and have the time to digest it. But
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, we don't need to teach people how to use Kickstarter on this video. I'm going to flip the camera around and talk to you a little bit more.
All right, yes,
And we could flip through the whole thing if you want. We could talk about what you want to do before we say goodnight later on. But yeah, man, it's good to finally like talk to you like this. Been interacting with you in the Kayfam thread for a while now.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think, like, back to your YouTube videos. I don't even know which one is my favorite, but I remember, well, you did the Danny Warren Johnson one recently, which is like, he's like a top favorite artist among comic creators right now. Obviously, that one was great. And I even like you really you have like a historian in you, where you're like you don't just address what's happening now. I like how you specifically started off that one by listing off like the top guys, the major artists of the past, like the first ones who ever did it, and then brought it to him, which really is so wild and true. Like, he really is like part of that echelon now, which is crazy.
Yeah, for sure. I always try to like make my videos like a story. So like, if I'm gonna talk about like a present day moment, I want to like try to harken back to something else in the past. Or if I want to talk about a certain event, I try to like, I always try to have like double like I have a general topic, right? So like, I'll have like an umbrella topic about, you know, whatever, and then I try to have like subtopics in there that are connected to that. So like, he's the new, my whole thesis is like, he's the new king of comics, and here's why. But before we talk about that, this is like, these are the people who have been considered the kings or the goats of these generations and stuff like that. And obviously, I could have probably went deeper and talked about, oh, Jack Kirby, he made this book, you know, I would have made the video like a whole hour long. And then obviously the list is all subjective, you know, because people were like, oh, you forgot about John Burns, or you forgot about this person. But I was like, well, I'm just pick who. One, I Googled like, all right, who are the people like on Google, how they rank people and stuff like that, and the people who I felt like were influential and stuff, as well. And then it led to Daniel Warren Johnson, and also like the whole influence of that video came from when I was at Heroes Con talking to people about. And a lot of people brought up his name. I mean, he was there, and I met him. I've met him, 2 times so far. He's always super cool, super dope dude. So, and you can just see it with a lot of people who are coming up, like especially people I'm in like my peers and stuff like that, how they talk about him and how they try to take their influence from him and stuff. So I was like, this is a no-brainer, So I always just try to like do stuff like that,
Yeah, I was following along with everyone at Heroes, and what you're saying is like you were actually like you were putting little short videos up, interviewing people at Heroes, and like, did anyone not list him as their favorite artist?
I didn't. Right? I think like probably like 3 people didn't, but like everybody else came there pretty much like. I mean, I probably interviewed like maybe like 10 people, and so but most of them were like Daniel Johnson, or it'd be like this person, and Daniel and stuff like that. So I was like, man, this has to be trending, and not even just like here, just like online alone, like where you kind of see the collective like idea, like people talk and stuff. You'll see like all these people always reposting his work on their stories on Instagram, or like he does live streams. There's always hundreds of people that flood there and just are on his comments and stuff like that, and similar people that I see on Instagram and stuff. So I'm just like, he's working towards something, or he's gotten to a big high space, just like with doing Transformers, and then all of his creator own stuff before that and stuff he's gonna be doing after that. It's just like he's in a whole different stratosphere, So I think that's pretty cool,
Yeah, his output is phenomenal. He's not just doing like the top art; he's doing it on the regular, like really consistent.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll definitely like. It's cool that once it's on YouTube, it'll be cool that I can actually like share. I'll pick a couple of like my favorite videos, or definitely any videos we end up talking about here tonight, and I'll share those in the description. So anyone watching on YouTube, they can you can click down there and check it out. Another one I really liked was the one on war comics. That was another good one. Like
I put a lot of work into that one, man. I didn't do as well,
you must have.
Whatever. But like, cause I was like, I forgot. I watched maybe a video a long time ago about how like, how the World War II influenced like the growth of, like manga and stuff like that. So I want to kind of like delve deeper into that concept of just like how a lot of the original comic book stories came from like wartime era things and stuff like that. Because back in the day, literature was more like the big medium. There wasn't like TV and maybe like radio at that point, and so there's like that was like the golden era of like comics. But during the whole golden era of comics, there was like constant wars going on. See World War I, World War II, Vietnam, the Gulf of Mexico. So it was kind of like interesting how they kind of coincided in a way, So I thought it was a pretty cool like idea, and also a lot of those guys, like a lot of the creators back then were war veterans, or were like one point removed from somebody who was a veteran, like whether it's their parents or their cousins, people are being drafted and stuff all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, if you just look at a lot of like the media that was coming out back in the day, were like have some sort of reference to that wartime, like Star Wars is like a euphemism for like the Vietnam War. People don't even know that, that was the whole point of George Lucas writing that, or like Rambo.
Oh yeah, Star Wars pulls on a lot of wars, really. I mean, I feel like the stormtroopers are SS, really, and like.
Yeah, it's supposed to be, but people like, obviously they get all confused. They're like, oh no, like lightsabers in the Force and all this other cool stuff. But it's like, think about it, like Jedis are essentially just like police officers, and this whole like thing.
Yeah,
but
I don't know if they would be police officers, because the ACAB and people that really hate on police officers, but they're, I mean, it's always funny to me when people. It's not. I don't think Star Wars is meant to be a metaphor. I don't think Lucas or most creators like wake up every day and think, how am I going to make my art a metaphor for anything? But it ends up like being analogous, and it is sort of a metaphor. And it always makes me laugh when people don't pick up on how it relates to actual reality, or how reality and art reflect each other, and they kind of get it twisted. Like when people,
for sure. I mean,
like when people listen to Rage Against the Machine, but they didn't realize that Rage Against the Machine, what that meant,
what the machine was, what they were talking about, not. That's pretty funny. But I mean, like you said, like reality and art, reflects, solely. So it's like he didn't just pull these references or these thought points out of nowhere. George Lucas and stuff like that. Maybe not every single Star Wars point is a metaphor, but like there are certain things, that are, what I'm saying, and stuff like that. Even if you watch like the prequel series, like that's literally a whole like political drama. You know what I'm saying? Like
Oh
just
yeah,
coded
very
with
much
like
so. All the
yeah, like coded with like aliens and fight scenes and Darth Vader's arrival and stuff like that. But
I mean,
the
they're
people
literally
don't like
the
that.
Senate is like a big part of those, right? Like
Yeah,
Palpatine manipulating and taking over in the Senate. Yeah,
it's a lot
it's
of stuff
awesome,
like that.
man.
Yeah, but
I'm assuming you're a big Star Wars fan. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. From
yeah, I used to be really, but I kind of like backed away from the community just because of how like annoying and like toxic it's become the last like 5 or 6. I mean, it's always kind of been like that, but I guess I mean I was a little kid for like most of the original stuff when they were talking shit about all the older stuff. But now like I'm seeing like all these new shows coming out. I'm like, oh, this show's pretty cool. Oh, it got canceled because they hate it. Oh, this movie's kind of cool. Oh, they canceled because all the negative feedback. So I was just like,
yeah,
I mean, I'm gonna still kind of try to check out some Star Wars stuff. It's really interesting to me, but like I've kind of like said that like I want to do a video on Star Wars and kind of like my feelings towards it, but I'm also like, do I want to deal with all those comments? Like
yeah,
so
yeah. You'll be. I mean, you should do it, man. It's definitely. But at least you're aware that you're in for trouble if you do that.
yeah,
But it's no matter what. It doesn't matter even what you actually say. It's like no matter what you say and put up about it, you'll piss not even piss someone off. So you're just gonna get everyone's opinions, which is funny as hell.
yeah.
Did you
That's
have
the
you
same
seen?
reason why I kind of stay away from like doing like manga and anime stuff videos too, like
Oh,
because it's kind of the same like toxic online like communities that are just like annoying like about like the funny thing about like the manga and anime community is that like online at least there's like is a very much a hive brain thing where like you can't if you're not going with what the general consensus is on the series, you're just gonna get hated on. Like I made a video, like one of my
okay.
earliest videos I did was on the series Jujutsu Kaisen.
I haven't seen it. Yeah,
So it's like super mega popular, right? And like
yeah.
my first video was about it was like this. The only reason it's popular is because the anime is so good that like you overlook all the flaws in the story. And then I did like, and that video got a lot of hate, whatever. So I made a follow up video, and I essentially broke down every talking point, every point that I was like, I was like, okay, this character has no story arc. The Jujutsu Kaisen pulls hella reference from like Naruto and stuff like that. It's essentially like a copy paste, but it's very, I made a whole breakdown about it. I made like 2 3 videos about it, and then I was getting hella hate comments. But then now, the general consent, because that's when Jujutsu Kaisen was like super like loved, like 2 years ago. Now, people sentiment Jujutsu Kaisen is like it's okay, like it's kind of ass, not that good. So I'm just
Yeah,
like come on now, like
yeah.
yes, I know, but it is what it is.
Dude, I gotta ask I gotta watch that, but also before we get away from Star Wars, I gotta ask if you've seen Andor, if you're into Andor.
I haven't gotten. I know, and I heard it was really good. I haven't gotten around to watching it. Like I
I
was
know,
really
I
into
know, like
Acolytes, and then I was just like, when it got canceled, I was like, bro, why they do this?
what got canceled?
When Acolytes got canceled,
Oh, okay,
the one with the twin girls, like
yeah.
I was really into, and it was like I really because for me, I like Star Wars. Like I like those shows because they do something different. Like we got to see like the Old Republic, which is something that hasn't been touched yet. So I was like, this is dope. We got to see a new Sith Lord, which is cool. And then like the fight scenes were super dope. There's like all
Was
these
it
different.
Acolytes animation?
No, it was a show. It was with what's that girl's name? Amelia Steinfeld. She
God,
was
I haven't.
it was like it's
No.
like 6. It was like 8 episodes. It was like a one season. It got a lot of controversy because there was like it was like a girl lead character, and then like there was like one episode where like because they're like the main point is like the girls were created by the witches. I forgot what they're called, but like the witches in their camp, and it was kind of like lesbian coded type camp. It wasn't explicitly, but like but they made the heroes out of the Force, kind of like how Anakin was made. You know how they say he was made by the Melkorians or whatever the fuck. And so like
Right.
this story is pretty much like how like it was supposed to lead into how they found out how that worked, and then led to how Luke or Anakin was born and made. Like they were like the first versions of it. It was. I mean, I thought it was pretty cool, but you know, Star Wars is like.
I feel like I can't like hate on Star Wars anymore because I did go through a phase where I was hating on certain aspects of it, and I had to like trick my brain to not be annoyingly analytical about it and just learn to enjoy it again. Because like honestly, I feel like the criticisms you have for any Star Wars then could be applied to the original Star Wars, and it's like, oh, maybe you just don't like it anymore. But I feel like that's not actually the case. I think people are just getting like really crazy about it, man. They could just calm down and enjoy it. And that's what I
Yeah.
did. I tricked myself into just enjoying all of it. And I gotta say,
Yeah.
like, I highly recommend Andor. I think it's the best of all of it. And that's not so controversial depending on who you're talking to. Some people
Yeah.
might fight you over it, but I've a lot of my friends agree. There's no force, there's no superpowers in it. It's just about humans having a rebellion. And you know, the writer director of it, Tony Gilroy, is like super smart and has made a lot of great films. And yeah, I think he like worked hand in hand with a guy who like a historian who focuses on rebellion, like real world rebellions. So yeah, I highly recommend it, man. But
Yeah, I gotta check it out because I mean I really liked Rogue One,
yeah,
so I mean I'm sure I would like that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean and same thing with the tricking your brain thing. I'm like that a lot with a lot of like superhero films and like stuff like that because I used to watch I don't know, you know, Kevin Smith's podcast Fat Man on Batman.
I do. Yeah,
I used to listen to that like a long time ago, probably like
does he still
2017.
do it?
Yeah, he still does it. I just haven't. I just fell off of it. But
Yeah, same
him
here.
and Mark Bernard used to do it, and I used to listen to them all the time, talk about like movies and stuff like that. And like they're like overly just like positive for the most part, and they're not like super negative. Even if they have some aspects they don't like, they're not like super hypercritical. And it's like, and Kevin Smith, and he's made a lot of great films, so he could be like that, but he's like, I like the mindset of just like showing love because it's not just a movie. It's like this is a project that hella people worked on and put a lot of hours into. And so I kind of have that mindset too, where it's like, even if I don't like, I'm a super like have a really low level of like of being entertained by movies and stuff like that. So like it was like I always say like you have to really try hard to make me not like a movie, you know, or something like that. So like I always find something cool or interesting about it, unless it's like really obviously bad.
Yeah,
But I mean, even with like superhero movies, like a lot of people say like these last couple like Marvel movies haven't been that great, and I always, for the most part, I'm generally entertained by most of them. Like obviously there's some stuff that I don't like. It's like okay, whatever. But like if
yeah.
it's not obviously horrible, I trick my brain also just to enjoy the moment and enjoy the fact that like we're seeing this stuff on TV or in the movie theater, you know.
That's the way to be and hold on to it. And I can't even imagine how you do it being a dad and like, because I know all my friends who are parents are so like pulled in every direction. And I look at them, I'm like, do you have a second to enjoy anything ever? Like, honestly?
Yeah, and for me it's at nighttime. That's why I stay up. That's how I get all my work done. So like literally from like 8 or 9 to like on the weekends like 2 in the morning I'm staying up and I'm knocking stuff out. Or and on
Yeah.
weekdays I'll probably go to bed like around like 12. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I know, because I've been hearing you on a lot of lives lately. I know you're like really organized and disciplined with like a schedule, right? Like you you have a calendar or you time box what you're doing or something like that.
No, it's really just like routine at this point. I don't really have like a calendar. I have like a
Oh, you
maybe
don't?
like a mental like checklist. Like okay,
Yeah.
like depending on what I'm working on for that moment in time. So like for a comic, for example, say I'm writing my scripts. I'm going. My goal is to like for AWA, for example, I wanted to have every single script written before I put pen to paper. You know, so I was
Nice.
like, all right, I'm gonna take 2 weeks and I'm gonna write as much as I can, or I'll write each script. So I'm gonna try to say like 2 3 days to write issue 1, issue 2. Because I don't really write like super detailed scripts. Actually, I have one right here where I just like it's like super super small. It's just like panel 1, he's walking, and panel 2 is this, and I really just do that just to collect my thoughts and stuff like that, and also to remember like the dialogue that I'm gonna put on there. Because I've made
Nice.
comics before where I didn't write anything, I was just freestyling it, and I always forget like, fuck, what was I gonna say there? Like, what was I gonna, you know? So
Yeah.
I do scripts now like hardcore, just just try to knock that out, and it's usually taking like a week or so, and
Nice.
then the next week is like thumbnails. So same process. I'm gonna have all the thumbnails done for everything before I start putting pen to paper. And my thumbnails are digital, so I have like a digital file on Procreate, and I just draw the thumbnails, get all the borders and stuff, and figure out how I'm gonna translate from the script to there. And then after that, I pencil everything digitally, and then I start printing everything out. But that process I kind of like break up. So like I do that when I get to that process. Like the pencil and inking is just issue by issues because I feel like it would take a lot longer. I don't want to ink 100 pages all at once for pencil. I would have lost interest. So like the fun part is I want to make more, like bring that to me. So like all the boring stuff, like the thumbnail in the scripting, let's knock that out as fast as I can, and then penciling I can take my time. So
It's funny that you say that's boring. That's like the hardest part, though. That's like easily the most mentally taxing part of the whole thing.
yeah, sure.
So you're inking traditionally. You're doing all the art and then you're blowing it up and essentially finishing a page with ink. Is that right?
Yeah, I started doing that. I believe earlier this year, or like later, like the end of last year. I started just doing that because
Were there?
when I went to Heroes Con last year, I saw all the original art people had and stuff like that. Like, I was just primarily working in Procreate on doing digital work, but I saw all these people like with their pages and stuff. Like, man, this is super dope. Like, I want to be able to do that, and I want to be able to like figure out what tools I would want to use and the effects I can do with like physically, you know. And they also said people will say like if you learn how to draw really well traditionally, it helps even better digitally because it'll be even quicker because obviously you have all the shortcuts and stuff like that. So I've had a really good time just doing it, and also just the feeling of doing it traditionally, like the getting your fingers dirty and like working with the pens and the the inks and stuff like that and brushes. It's really like I don't know what the word is, but like mentally
Therapeutic.
like satisfying. Yeah, therapeutics, really satisfying and stuff like that. And also like I started to notice now like what's been annoying with my iPad is like it starts to die really quick. I mean it's about like 3-4 years old. It's not like it's still a newer one, but it's starting to die like within like an hour or two, and it's like fuck that. Like that kind of sucks. So
What's the word for it? Planned obsolescence or something like that. Like it's literally like a word that the companies have because they deliberately want them to
oh yeah.
die or something.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, actually, there's also like there's a real reason to do it traditionally. I think the best reason is just because we love art. That's the best reason, and we love to hold the physical art. But Felix Comics Art. He represents Daniel Warren Johnson and all the top, most of the top, many I shouldn't say most, many of the top players in the game right now. And I know for a fact, like a majority of them are not just making their income, like making a solid, like a super solid income, selling like he'll sell the entire comic, on drop, like because
Yeah.
he's a crazy art dealer. And there's a bunch of other art dealers in the comic world now who are doing the same thing. And whether you have an art dealer or not, like there's just even just comic art fans is something I've been getting involved with too. And that's like a community of comic art buyers. They just love whether it's old pages or covers that exist, or there's like a bunch of them within there as well who like supporting up and coming artists too. So like if you get involved with that, you could be selling your pages through that as well potentially.
Yeah, for sure. That's I mean that's another thing I keep in the back of my mind. But like right now, it's like I'm not really expecting anybody to really want to buy them. But I like being able to like show people like I have these portfolios and look, you can look at it. It's kind of cool. I mean, I've sold a few pieces of art like here and there, like onesie twosies, but
Yeah.
nothing like super crazy yet. Because I don't really push it too much. Like, I don't push like commissions or anything like that because I don't know if like one I'm not like really here to try to get like that much money doing that. And also don't want to take up all my time away from
Yeah.
drawing comics to do commissions and stuff. Like if somebody asked me like, "Oh, can you do a cover for me or can you do this?" Yeah, sure, I don't care. Like I'll probably just do it for free, honestly, just for fun, just for like because right now I feel like I'm still trying to like get better. So I'm down to just like knock out a bunch of pages. That's why I really like doing the Kayfam books also because it gives me a chance to like do something different that's outside of like the realm of my comfortability, you know.
Yeah.
So and it also forces me to do things really really fast too, like the deadline, the 24-hour, 48-hour deadline. So
yeah, I love all that, man. It's great being a part of that group, which is like a super positive group. I like that there's like, sometimes jokes get made, but for the most part, nobody's really talking shit about comics or comic artists or anyone. And it's mostly just like a love and appreciation, um, which I'm all about. Like, I don't really see a reason to be knocking. Like, it's one thing if you were talking about not criticizing movies, but that's different because it's such a giant, massive undertaking. But when you're criticizing a comic, you really are just like attacking a single person, maybe two or three people.
Yeah,
Which
for sure.
is really messed up, as we know. It's like,
yeah,
so,
I really like the group. I feel like since I joined that group, I've been in it for like a year or so. I feel like it definitely helped me like grow, like because I feel like having a community helps a lot, especially like in art spaces and stuff like that, where there's just like learning new information, just meeting new people, and being able to like talk to people. I think that's like a big reason why people go to art schools is to like find those group of people who can relate to you. Because obviously, like growing up, a lot of people don't have a lot of artistic friends and stuff like that, or like they can relate to. And then when you get more niche into genres like making comics or like manga and stuff like that, that's even more of a smaller like group of people. So it was really cool to find like that group and like meet Brian and Jeremy and you and all these other people in the group that are positive. They're not just like shitting on things all the time, or like where people are just talking about their days or like what they got going on, or like asking for help, or like showing off their work, and everybody's like super, oh that's cool, da da da. And then like supporting people, like I got people in the group who are help back this campaign and who have bought books in the past. Like you bought some books from my my store and stuff like that, and things like that, which is like super cool. And even like my YouTube videos, like I'm trying to like figure out a way where I can start having more people on to like get their opinions and stuff like that. Like I had Brian on one video. I would like to like find topics where I can incorporate and have people come on. Just because I think that it helps just with the conversation and the thoughts. So I'm not just like giving you my total like ideas on the videos, but also I can have somebody else's opinion, their viewpoints and stuff like that. Like that's something I really want to do. The reason I haven't really done that a lot is because the same with my comments. I also like try to put videos out in a timely manner, and like I'm like where I was gonna work with somebody else's schedule to like get this, you know, and stuff like that,
Oh
and
yeah.
add more time to my editing and shit. So like, you know.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. I can't. I don't even know how you're doing it because I've done video for a living and editing exhausts me. I try not to edit at all anymore. Um, I had to laugh because like all your videos really sit with me, and I think about them. And one that like sits with me is that Spawn one where you have you have Brian in there talking, and I love it because it's like it really feels like you're a historian and you're cutting to all these other expert historians, even though it's like comic creators. And I don't know who the guy is, but you got another guy in there, and he's it's like we're talking. It's ironic that we're talking about not making fun of or slamming on things, but he's kind of making fun of like Wanda, and like,
Yeah.
and I always think about that because it is pretty true. It's like it spawned. I love it, man, but it was like a little one notey over the years. But yeah, that like, I'll be just taking a shower and I'll think about that guy going Wanda.
Yeah,
Like
that's his name is Jordan. He does another. He's actually a comic book YouTuber, and
nice.
like I knew because he's done videos about Spawn and stuff like that. I know he's like read a lot of it, so that's why I wanted to have him on because I know he had a more like a different perspective. I haven't read a lot of Spawn. I read like I think I've only read the issues where Todd drew it, and then that was it. And even it took me a long time to get through those 20 whatever issues it was.
Uh,
You know? So like it was really hard. So I was like, let me get him on.
Capullo started drawing in there. Yeah, I don't know if you know. I'm sure you do know that. Like early on, Capullo started drawing, but McFarlane knew that Capullo wasn't a name yet, so he would put, McFarlane would put his name on it, even though Capullo was already drawing it. And then they did Capullo and McFarlane, and then eventually they were just like Capullo was so hot that they were just able to take McFarlane's name off his penciler altogether. But yeah, man. Yeah, I think I read up to like issue 100, and then I kind of went through a phase where I didn't even read comics, and then and as I'm trying to get back into it, it's just too much, man. Like I'm gonna buy the compendiums and sit down and reread and read all of it someday, but it's like you could tell it's just kind of like a little bit of a mess, and like I really at this point I'm just like into comics mostly for the art anyway. Like I want to get all Jason Shawn Alexander's art because it's
Mhm.
awesome, and like and yeah, I'll give it a try. I'll read through all of Spawn someday. He did the cover challenge. I don't know if you were paying attention to like January 2024. He did a cover challenge. Were you aware of all that? McFarlane doing
No.
that. So
Oh,
like yeah,
okay. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I made one. Yeah, I did the
you did one.
Swaneeware thing. Yeah, I did one too. Yeah.
Nice, man. Yeah, I did. I think I made six. It was crazy.
Oh shit.
I had very little work and I was able to like do six covers. Um, maybe seven. But anyway, like I love that. That was so fun. And I was
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna buy all the compendiums and read all Spawn and catch up. And like pretty quickly I was like, I can't do it. It's like impossible right now. Like I gotta just draw, you know?
Yeah, I
Mikey
got
Makes
one of the
Comics is shouting
compendiums.
out Philadelphia, which is Jason Shawn Alexander's another book he draws, which is
Tried
awesome.
to, I tried to get into that. I can't even really get into it, but I bought the first compendium of Spawn because I just love the like I love Greg Capullo and Spawn and Todd's artwork, and I just wanted to see how he kind of like inked all of his stuff and how he inked
Yeah.
over Greg Capullo, and then I bought the Spawn issues with when Eric Larson took over, like he's like 4 or 5 issues or stuff like that. Those are like the singles are super expensive, and I have a few of them. They're like $30, and I was like, bro. But then I bought the trade with just that like those issues in it. I just like love Eric Larson's like work, and
Yeah.
then seeing Todd ink over it, it was just kind of like whoa, like that's kind of crazy, like how much difference it makes into his work look, So, it
Yeah,
was really,
those guys are all such powerhouses and like
mhm.
rock stars and superstars and incredible artists in their own right. And it is awesome when they work together and do stuff like that when it works out. Um,
So I wanted to ask you, like, so what is your like art background? Because you're like really, really good. You do like paintings and graffiti and like like murals and stuff like that. So like, did you like just were you like an art student? You just been doing art for like a long time. Obviously, you probably have, but like, what is that? Like, what is your like art history?
yeah, I mean, my short story is I've been an artist my whole life and I got really obsessed with filmmaking. So after in college, I got obsessed with filmmaking and I started just like helping people make films. And I had friends who went to NYU, so then they out of college they would get me on film shoots, and I was like in construction a lot too. So I think it was 2012 or 11 or something like that. I got a job where like I was a videographer and video became my full time living, and I was working on film shoots, from like 2004 till then. And then when that happened, I did like a solid decade of just being my own studio producing videos.
That's not,
Um,
bro.
and then I kind of got back into art again and obsessed with it again. And comics made their way in. Like I was walking my dog Luna past a comic store in Bushwick, and I saw that they had just redone their floors because it was like a really tiny little store, and they had just redone their floors. And I walked in, and we got beers, and we were all just hanging out, like the owner and the customers, and like I made another family there, and yeah, that was like I hadn't actually read Akira. I read Akira for the first time later in life, the manga, because I loved the anime when I was a kid. It blew like that shit blew my mind. Like that changed my life. But the manga is way better. Like the movie is a truncated. What's I'm not gonna think of the word. It like sacrificed the full vision. It's like very truncated, and the manga is so full. Like it has literally there's like an apocalypse within an apocalypse in the manga because it's so epic. But yeah, as a result of getting back into art, like I didn't even realize it at the time, but I made enough art to make an art book. And then finally, like during the pandemic, I had no excuses anymore, and I made finished my first comic because I drew comics when I was a kid. And now it's just like my challenge in life has been to just like actually say no to more things and focus on drawing the pages. And I know you were saying earlier, like you're not really trying to do commissions because it is true. Like the commissions are taking a lot of my time right now. And I don't want to sound like ungrateful because I want to do them for the rest of my life. And they did help me through the beginning part of this year where I couldn't actually physically work and I needed money. So I'm doing that. I'm kind of balancing like commissions and trying to do my comic and now getting back to other jobs. And it's too much. And I have to say no. Like I did these murals, but you know, I was like busy with work. So between this job and I just figured why not bang out a mural. But I'm trying, like you're my hero right now. Like you pumping out pages, like that is my number one goal in life. Anybody who's doing that, you know, shout out Brian Moss again. Like anyone who's consistently doing pages, that's really what I'm trying to design my whole life around right now. And it's difficult, but I'm pretty much there. Like I have issue ones mostly written, and like you, I kind of want to get a little bit ahead of that before I start like really diving in because I really want to make sure I'm happy with the beginning.
Yeah.
But once I get rolling, I really feel like I'm going to start rolling and it'll be coming out. But yeah, I could go way more in depth on art, my history with art, because I love paint. I have studied like all kinds of art, and I love it.
What did you do videography on? Like, were you doing like were you like the actual camera person, or were you doing like scene locations, like you know, getting like spots for like the films and stuff like that? Like, what kind of were you doing like indie in-house art house films, or were you doing like music videos or like stuff like that? Like, what were you doing?
So when I actually like worked in production, I did a little bit of everything. Like I was a location scout. I was mostly like you start out as a PA all the time, and I got into art department, so I was like an art department PA. I did art direction. I did a little production design, even camera assisting. But then like the Canon 7D came out and 5D came out, and that was like there was like a mini revolution, and everybody bought them, and I hopped on that, and I at first I was just borrowing my friends' cameras, but then when I got this full-time gig, I could afford my own. And so the work I was doing that I was proud of that you could see on my website are music videos.
Okay.
And then I did a ton of work for other people that I don't even show because it's just like it was never what I wanted to do. I wanted to make movies. And now I'm just kind of like happy that that like so many things in my life happened to get me away from it. And I'm really honestly, there was like some sadness in the past because of that, but right now I don't even feel that anymore. And I'm like super happy just to be into comics. And it's so nice to just work on a comic instead of worrying about organizing a film shoot. You know, it just depends on what you want to do, you know, and like that's kind of my mind has shifted and I've fallen back in love with comics fully, you know?
Yeah, I feel that. It's funny because so I had a homie back that I went to like middle school and high school with, and he was a big into videography too, and he still does it now. He does like super high quality, expensive cameras, stuff like that. And he does like a lot of like commercials for people. He does do like advertisements, music videos, stuff like that. He's really I don't remember what his cameras are, but he has like ones really really high quality, super big fucking cameras, a bunch of shit. He's really good at editing too. Like he was like one of the first people I knew who like did use Premiere Pro at After Effects is like 2000 like I don't know, like 9 before anybody even knew that, or at least from my age range knew what that was. And
Right.
he was like really good at mixing and mastering, and he was the one. So he helped me design my website like a long time ago, and I remember we were having this conversation about like how people once they get to a comfortable spot in their lives, like financially or whatever the case is, they always like go back to the things they loved as kids. So like
Yeah.
whether it's like, oh, you really like sports growing up, or like you like artwork or wrestling or whatever, they always end up going back to like falling in love with that, that
Yeah.
medium or like whatever it was that they love. Like they all started like me just like loving comic books. I still love playing basketball. Like I still watch it avidly. I like just the other day I was playing with an adult men league for the first time. Like I was like my goal for this year was to like lose some weight so I can go and play, because I was big, bro. I was like lifting weights and all that stuff. It's cool, and I was getting like big. I was like 290 at one point, and I was like, but it was bad for like my back and my knees, and I couldn't move.
Wow.
So I've gotten down to 240 right now. So, but anyways, like that was my goal, and so now I was able to play my first time like in a league
Nice.
yesterday, and so I was like, that's super cool. Like it was super fun just to do stuff like that, and that's how I feel about comics too. So I think it's just like that's like an important thing in life, where it's like when if those things you were really in love with as a little kid, if you can find your way back to getting doing that stuff, I feel like that's like important. And I also just think that just happens like naturally for a lot of people.
Well, you hope it does. I feel like some people never get in touch with that, and then they live probably very, I don't know about miserable, but yeah, there's just something unrealized about themselves, and they probably, frustrated. But it's so true. I've heard a lot of like people talk about this, whether it's like older veterans in any field, not just comics or film, just people who do something. There's like a real, it's basically a proven study at this point, because anybody who's achieved their dreams and does it successfully, decade after decade, they all say like, this is kind of what I wanted to do when I was 14 or like in middle school or something like that. And that's really where I'm at right now. Like it's awesome. Like I'll like every time I make a new page or a cover, or when I'm just drawing at a convention or I do a commission, it's like, this is really what I wanted to do when I was a kid. This is like, when I saw people doing this when I was a kid, I thought it was the most amazing thing in the world. So the fact that I'm doing it now, I'm like, it's just like, I can't even describe how it makes me feel, and it just gets better. It's not like I've done 10 and I'm tired of it. It's like, I can't wait to do more, especially my comic. It's like, that's like the next level when I really start putting that out. But I'm sure you feel that. I'm sure you're feeling that, man.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm so like I fall in love with like having the finished product in my hands, like with all my comics and stuff like that. Like that's something that I really like strive for. That's why like I work hard to like get these books out there so I can have them for myself, and then I can also show other people and stuff like that. And I think that's really cool. And then going to conventions, I think is no bonus. Like we're like, excuse me, this year, like I knew a lot of people at Heroes Con. Last year I didn't know anybody, but I had a great time just walking around myself and just like looking at all the cool stuff, seeing how everybody is. This year it was cool, even more fun, because I was, I met Brian, I met Jeremy, Vero, and all these other people like Brunson and stuff like that. And I was talking to them, and would hang out with them, and Brunson's dope. And all these people, and it was just like even more inspiring and more juiced in like battery in my back to like go harder and become, get more stuff out there to show and stuff like that. So, that was just like how you said, it's just like it's fun, it's awesome. This is something I wanted to do when I was little, and now that I'm in a lucky enough spot in my life to be able to do this, it's dope.
Like you, I mean, now it's like a little more than a year. It's more like a year and a half. But about a year and a half ago, like my hustle hadn't really gone fully into the comic world yet, and just the last year and a half alone, like I've gone from I'm feeling like I know almost nobody at a convention to like I can walk into the convention and I want to say more than half of the people, if not sometimes more, depending on which one. I see some of them are even hopping in right now, like my friend Scott Gerard Rule just hopped in. R.D. Murphy is in here. Like those are guys, I met Scott on Instagram technically, but like met him for the first time at a convention in Phoenix, which is where he's from. And like, I feel like currently the challenge for me, and I feel like you're probably in a similar position, is we should just focus on making the comics. But eventually it's really valuable and important to get out to conventions, which is super hard because of the money and time commitment.
Yeah.
Like it does take a lot of energy out. Like I have to recover after a convention every time a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I mean, it's so worth it. It's not just like, it doesn't just feel good. It's like and I know you're saying you're not trying to charge for covers, but as you get older, I hope you change your mind about that, because like it's worth it. It's worth doing any time you put into anything. We can trade, that's cool. But like if somebody who doesn't have something to trade you hits you up for a cover, you should charge, man. And all this, and not just, and it's not just about money. It's about like making it sustainable, making a sustainable living. But yeah, man, it's like Indie Comics Creator Con is probably, and are you going to Eddie Con by any chance?
No, I would, but I don't, like this year I probably won't. I'm doing Atlantic Comic-Con here. It's local to Virginia where I'm at, and then that's probably the last time I'm gonna be able to do for this year, just because it's like the financial burden. Like I wouldn't make enough money back to like even when I went to Heroes Con, it was like super expensive, and I was just going to hang out, So like having to pay for the table and the trip and all that stuff, it would just be like a lot of money that I won't have right now. Eventually, one year I'm definitely gonna go because I wouldn't like mind going to Pittsburgh. Never been up there before, but I would just need to be like in a more like just need more money saved up, essentially, because I kind of spent the rest of my savings at Heroes Con essentially.
No, I can barely make it to EdPCon. Like, right, I paid for my car and my hotel, and I'm waiting for another paycheck to come in because I'm hurting right now. But it's a long game we're playing. Like, you got to just strap in and you're super smart. You're just gonna plan and figure everything out as you go. But yeah, I mean, like, Heroes Con is one that everybody's always. It seems like one of the best ones to go to. So I'm glad you did your second year this year.
Yeah, I did it 2 times. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's really fun. I think if you win, I think you would have a good time. I mean, it's just literally just super like comic book centric. There's so many people there. Like each time, like both years, I'm pretty sure I missed out a lot of people that I didn't even know were there. Like I will like see an interview or somebody talking about like, oh yeah, it's a Heroes Con. I'm like, what the fuck, you were there? Like I didn't even know you were there. Like I didn't even see your table because you hyper focus on certain people. Like my first year, I was trying to get all like the big people like Daniel Johnson, Sanford Green, and I forgot Scotty Young and all these other people, and I was wasting a lot of time just waiting in long lines, which was fine because that was the whole point. But this year was like, okay, I want to go and see all the people that I know, and then maybe waste some time in certain lines and stuff like that. And then I was getting like books signed and stuff like that. But I think next year or whenever next time I go to that convention or a big convention, I don't think I'm gonna waste my time like getting my books signed anymore and just spend most of my money just buying indie books because that was more like it's more of a personable thing. You actually get to talk to people and you poke their brain about what they think about, making comments stuff like that. Like this year, I went to just people who I kind of knew vaguely, like off internet or like that I knew did Kickstarters, and I was talking to them about like, so what is your thought process, doing Kickstarters, and like what are some tips you can give me, things like that. I was doing a lot of that type of stuff, and I thought that was pretty cool too. But when I was going to get like my book signed by like certain creators, stuff like that, it was kind of like, oh here, all right, cool. Like, so I was like, I don't want to do that no more. Like I don't want to waste my $20. It's just kind of like a transactional thing.
I was able to get into San Diego Con a few years back for free, and I met everybody there. I did not wait on lines. If the lines were long, I was just like, I'm out. But I basically figured out tricky ways to give it to people off the line or somehow, like, and some heroes were like super supportive. Some heroes were a little preoccupied or dismissive. Yeah. But more than anything, it's just like you just keep making connections, and you don't know who's going to be like helpful to you, who's going to like back you and want to support you and stuff, and Scott Gerard's rules said, you got to invest in yourself. The return comes later, which that's what I'm telling myself too, man. And I mean, it's just, that is what it is. And like, back to your Kickstarter, like for me, I had what I considered a very successful Kickstarter, and technically I just about broke even. But like you, it wasn't like I wasn't trying to get rich on it. I was just like trying to cover all my costs. And I don't know where you're at with the money that you're getting and what you plan to print, but like I was able to print so much that I'm still I could just give out issue 0. Like I'm like when I'm giving you, like if overnight for some reason your Kickstarter triples, like I'm fine. I could give you those copies, Like I'll honor that. If it quadruples, maybe we need to have a talk. But yeah, that's what the Kickstarter is for. If you can like afford to, like, obviously you're gonna make copies to sell to all your backers, but if you can make sure you have a couple extra copies, or not a couple, like 100, 200, whatever makes you comfortable, like it's crucial because you are going to be going out to events, and it is important to trade and give some away. I've become like a little more careful about how many I give away, because when you give things away for free, it is true that people just don't care, like they might throw it away. They might throw it at the bottom of a pile. Like there's truth to like someone, like a trade, someone cares, because they're giving you a little bit of themselves. Money, they care because they have to give you the money.
Yeah.
But with that being said, like to this day, I give copies away all the time. And I think
for sure. I've definitely been like pondering about like how much, like, I mean, like I already know how much I need to like get a certain amount of issues, but I also don't want to be in a position where I'm like stuck with a bunch of them, in my house and stuff like that. So because also like the long goal for AWOL is essentially to do a trade. So that's why I want to do, like, I want to have the first 4 issues going to be the trade. And essentially my original idea was to have the 4 issues done and then kickstart it. But then I was like, well, I'm gonna do this convention at the end of August, so I might as well just do the Kickstarter for the first book and have it for the convention, and then maybe like in February or March, I will do the Kickstarter for the full trade if I feel like, you know, have enough energy and mental capacity to do another Kickstarter, because it's really taxing to do.
Yeah, it is.
And then, you know, and I've been doing a lot of promo, you know, doing like these, you know, live streams with people. I made a bunch of those reels. Like I'll have them like I'll film like 5 in one night and then have them like loaded up for like the week or whatever. Like I have a few loaded up for this week, you know, and stuff like that. And I'm just like, man, do I want to, you know, do all of that, you know, again? So we'll see. I might just like do kind of like a Jim Ma Foods like method of just like making the launch page, have it sit there, and just have a lot of people like sign up preemptively, you know. And then as far as like giving away stuff, this is what I was doing a lot. So like at work, I would like go to my printer and just like print out a bunch of these like ash can versions of like whatever. So this is like one from my Spider-Man comic. This is like a test one. It's like and I would just give those away, and like I would have like a QR code on the back of it. I think I have another one right there.
That's
so like this time for so like this, like I'll have like, you know, check me out, and you know I would do stuff like that. So like it was like zero cost because I was printing it at work, and then just giving people stuff. But for AWOG, for example, I printed out a bunch of ash cans, just left them in my comic shops. So I was like, okay, I'll leave this here. Like, yeah, and then I would come back and they would be all gone. You know, I don't know how much of that converted over, but at least I feel like it just kind of gets your like stuff out there. Even though nobody bought the comic right now, maybe somebody picked it up, and then this convention I go to in a couple weeks, they might see my comic, the full done version, but oh snap, I saw this. You know, that's kind of like my mind thought process. But like when I give free stuff away, it's like something I didn't have to put that much effort into. You know?
Yeah, I feel like it's like wise to get into analytics and try to figure out the conversion and all that, but ultimately I'm just strapped in on a level where it's like I'm not too concerned, and I really just want to get it in front of as many eyeballs as possible. You know, and specifically eyeballs that are going to care about it. Because like Mikey Makes Comics is in here right now with us, and like I met him at an art show, maybe not randomly, maybe it was fate or whatever, but like, you know, I didn't know I was going to meet a guy who loved comics on the level he does. It was like just an art world show, and like I gave him a copy, and he was, you know, like I wouldn't say strategic, but it was like he's someone who I could tell right away he's going to care about this, you know. And it's like you just don't know when you're going to run into people like that, and whenever I do that, those are the people I'm just like, take a comic, please, you know. I'm like,
yeah, no, that's a fact. You definitely got to know like who your audience is and stuff like that. I mean, that's like a really big reason why I started my YouTube channel, was in order to like cultivate like a support system or group of people who like fuck with me and are like want to buy my comics. That's why like every video I always promote like, oh, I'm a comic creator, check out my comics. You know, I kind of got that from like the Kayfam videos and other YouTubers who do like comic books. So that was kind of like my method behind just making the videos. So like also helps like, and it has paid off, you know, and like, you know, when I drop certain videos, like there's like when I dropped my video about like the Black superhero paradox, a lot of people really felt that video and were really like, you know, I don't know what I forget the word I was going to say, but they really liked that video, and so that video alone, I got a lot of sales just preemptively for like, just because people like the message I was putting out there and just wanted to support. So I like, that's probably the most sales I got just on that video alone. But like throughout this year, just like putting videos out, and the videos doing like really well, like views wise and stuff like that, it converts, you know, slowly but surely. Like I've sold a good amount of units of comics throughout this last year alone, you know. So I mean, it's getting there, and I still have, relatively speaking, like a smaller channel, you know. So I'm hoping like, man, once I get to like 100,000 subscribers and I'm getting like millions of views, it translates to like 10,000 sales, or, you know, stuff like that. Like that's kind of like my
like an automatic amount of sales. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like I want to
where are you at right now? Because I remember when you broke 10K, we were all rooting for you and like, yeah, fucking go Cova.
I'm almost at 12K right now.
Nice, yeah, you're still chugging along, man.
Yeah, so it's going slowly but surely, stuff like that. I think it just depends on like the topics that I do and stuff like that. So like doing videos on like even though I like doing videos on like creators and stuff like that, I don't think those videos really push the needle that much. And I don't want to get like too like political all the time, but like I feel like those type of videos are the ones that people are like looking for, you know, especially like when it comes to like deep dives and stuff like that. So like next video
you're saying that's what people do want? They want a deep dive on a creator?
No, I think people want a deep dive on like, or people want like you to be like critical or like somewhat controversial, I guess.
Okay.
In a specific way. Like, I'm not gonna be like hate farming or like doing stupid stuff like that. Like, I think that's super lame. But like,
No, you're real thoughtful, man. You
yeah.
might
So
take elements of, because we were talking earlier about being critical, and there's like a difference between, there's like a spectrum of criticism, I guess you would say. And like, yeah, you're always thoughtful and tasteful with it, man. You're not just throwing out, you know, terrible comments just to get clicks or whatever. You know, you're not being an asshole about it.
yeah, no. So like my next video, because I put a poll about like I'll do these every once in a while on my community tab. Like I do like polls on like what videos,
Yeah.
what topics people want to see, and I did one was like the white superhero paradox, and then it's like it kind of is gonna play on. It's gonna kind of be a continuation of the black superhero one, more of like whiteness and stuff like that. And so I've kind of like been thinking about like what my thesis is gonna be about that video and stuff like that. I think that video will probably do pretty good just because it does play on like a race thing and like a political like, because that the whole like what's that? I forget what they call it. Like the politics, like the what that word is they use all the time. The buzzword they use. Oh, the culture war. Kind of
Oh, the culture war. Oh yeah.
into that like whole realm of things. But just like do stuff like that. Like what they say is like a lot of YouTubers that I watch, they say is like you got to do one video for the algorithm, one for like your subscribers, and then one for yourself. So like that would be like my algorithm one, like to get more people to like come to my channel, and then like I'll do a video maybe like on like a book I've been reading that I really enjoy, and then I'll be like one for myself, and then a book that like I feel like my creators will enjoy, which would be like talking about a creator or stuff like that. Because you don't really know, because I feel like YouTube content is so like it's not wide in range, but it's very much kind of small. Honestly, like there's people who just talk about characters, people who just review books, and there's people who do like deep dives on certain things, but not like I don't think anybody does deep dives the way I do them. Not to be like all braggy and stuff like that, but like I don't feel like people do like they don't pinpoint like aspects of like in real life things or stuff like that. I think the closest person I can remember, or I think he'd be like maybe like comic tropes kind of does like deep dives, but his are more definitely more orientated on the product he's talking about, other than just like bringing it out.
There is one guy who I'm not gonna remember his name, but we're not promoting him tonight anyway. But he's like he does top like really quality video deep dives, not just about creators and their comics, but with like a like you do, where you have like an idea that you're going after to explain. They're visual essays, man. They're video essays, really. They're awesome. Yeah. And I feel like when you put your attention on something, like you focused your attention on building that, right? You did it. So now you're trying to focus your attention on getting that to translate over to selling comics, which I believe you're going to do. It doesn't just like happen, just because you got the following. I've learned that a lot too. Like just because I get a lot of like followers or attention in one spot doesn't connect them over to like comics or one. They're all kind of separate. So that's like a whole other level of work. We just got to like strap in for, get ready to focus on. But I think you're going to do it. I believe you're like super smart, focused person. So you're going to figure it out, man. And also you kind of offered to help me and other people in the Kayfam with their YouTube channel. And if that offer still stands, I'm going to hit you up for some advice. Like,
oh yeah,
100%. Probably maybe not this year, because this year I really am just focused on making issue 1 and getting on a roll with my comic. But yeah, I know I'm not doing things like the smartest way, and I wanna learn from you, man, because you've definitely killed that. Like you really figured that out. So
yeah, I like just hyper focused on it really, because I mean I've been watching like YouTube's like my main primary like entertainment. Like I don't really watch a lot of streaming. Like outside of just watching like basketball, like NBA games, I just watch videos and video essays. So that was kind of like a no brainer for me to like do that, especially when I was seeing other people like get success off of doing that. So I was like, just do that. But like I mean I hyper focused on stuff, and I mean I don't have everything pat down, like I'm not getting like millions of views yet, and I'm not getting consistent same amount of views, but I feel like I've gotten a method to the madness, at least a little bit. So I'm definitely willing to share. I mean, I don't like I'm here to give advice to anybody. If people want it and they just want, I don't really care. Like there's no point in me bogarting everything, or like trying to like sell it. Especially people who like, you're doing me favors, stuff like that, and just off the love. So I'll I'm gonna do that for anybody who does it, who's willing to help,
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. We'll talk. I'm pretty like self-sufficient. I just need like a little bit of guidance and suggestion. I won't be too much of a burden on you or anything. But yeah, man, I'm like, like it's like I'm just thinking of another video. Like I love that Peach Momoko video you did. What was the other one that I really liked? Oh yeah, the Invincible one. That one got a lot of that was pretty controversial. That was a more controversial one. Mostly not because of your take on it or anything, just because of the subject matter and the rape and everything is like super sensitive for obvious reasons. But that one got a lot of views, right? That one was up there.
Yeah, man. I think, man. So the crazy thing about that video, it got to like almost like 500,000 views, and then like YouTube hit me with a demonetization, and like not because of the content of the video, because the thumbnail that I originally had on there, I guess was too like racy or whatever, because it kind of showed like a little bit of boobs and stuff like that, you know. So, but like with YouTube, when like you have like an issue, you can like go and appeal it. But they never told me what the reason was. So I was like, man, it was something I said in the video, da da da. And maybe I'll go edit it out because it was doing like hella good. I was like, man, I'm about to get a million views, da da da. And they never said anything. And you can only appeal it twice. And I did both my appeals to just find out what the issue was. And then once I found out, I was like, oh, I can just change the thumbnail. It's nothing. They're like, oh, well, it's too late. Like, whatever. And I was just like, bro, oh my God, bro. So like,
wait, so they did tell you that it was the thumbnail?
Yeah, but they told me after my second appeal. So like, it was already too late to get my video back into good standing. So like, essentially, I just like literally they just turned the faucet off on the views. Like, there's no more like I mean, it still gets views here and there, but it's not like, because I was getting like 10,000 views like an hour, and it was like, oh my God, this is crazy. You know, it's like, and it's funny because when I first made that video, it took a while for it to pop off. It took like a week because I was like, man, I need to figure out what thumbnail that works. I don't know. So I kept changing thumbnails, and I got to the one that worked. But then after, like I said, I got to like 400K, and then, they said like, oh, whatever. I was like, damn, man. And Invincible is a funny thing because Invincible is like, it's trending all the time because it's like the show's still going on. It's super popular. It's getting more and more popular every year. And I'm a big Invincible fan. Like, I have the full comic book run, like the floppies. I have the trades. Like, it was like one of the first comics I read back in the day. So like, I have I know a lot about Invincible, and I could just easily just like make a bunch of Invincible videos, but like I don't want to for obvious reasons because a lot of people just do that, and I feel like I don't want to build a fan base of people who want to watch Invincible videos on my channel. Like, that's why I try to keep my topics super diverse and different. Like, I don't want to just like hyper focus on certain characters or certain creators or like certain topics or things, because I want to draw on as many people who like comics and who want to buy comics as possible, not just people who want a specific thing. I like to keep.
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting that you chose to focus on that. That was really before I even knew who you were, and I didn't really even have an idea of your overall like channel yet. And I was just super impressed that you would tackle that topic, and in a very mature way. It was like very tasteful. Like any problem YouTube or any person would have with it is just a sign of, I think, like personal immaturity or cultural immaturity, really, because it's like you did as good of a job as you possibly could, I think, with that subject matter, man.
Yeah, it's funny because about like, I think it was like 2 years ago, I was watching a live stream, or like it was like an interview stream. I think it was a Comic Tropes, Comic Drake, and then there was another guy, I don't know who the other guy was, and they were talking about like the first season of Invincible and stuff like that, and they're talking about that part of like the series, because that's not until like way later. It's like
it's like the third compendium or something.
Yeah, it's like way later into this.
Yeah.
It wouldn't even if they get to that point, like when they get to that point in the show, it probably won't be like season like 6, 7, 8. Like that last couple ones.
Right.
That was then they kind of brought that up in the live stream, and I had just thought about that like recently when I was thinking about what my video was gonna be. I was like, man, that is interesting. I wonder how that would go about and play out and stuff like that. And then I also wanted to talk about I think that's the same one where I talked about how we're more accepting of violence than we are of sex, and
you probably do because it's true, man. Yeah, it's been like that.
I think I did say that in there.
Yeah,
I did in one of my videos. I talked about how like in like media and like entertainment, like people are more accepting of like watching somebody beat somebody up than they are of like have seen somebody have sex on TV or like whatever the fuck, and so how that's like a weird thing.
Yeah, even guns and violence and murder and just everybody dying. Like
that was actually my the DC Comics Safe Sex comic video when I did that video. I was talking about milestone media and stuff like that. But yeah, the Invincible was interesting, and I was like, damn, it's crazy getting so many views. And then I was getting a bunch of comments, stuff like that. Like when I get like a lot of comments and I drop a lot of controversy, like or like a hot topic, that's when I know the video's gonna do like really good, because that's like what really matters, because it drives like the algorithm up and stuff like that. But yeah, that video was doing good. I probably would have hit 1 million views on it if it wasn't for like that bullshit.
So frustrating, man.
Yeah, whatever. And then
it's like you got a good mentality. I know you're not losing too much sleep over it, but damn, man.
I was like, fuck no.
Yeah,
whatever.
No, I love it. I love that we're all in the Kayfam just rooting for each other, man. I feel like we're all out here just like hardcore rooting for you. Like I remember when you hit 10K, it was like, fuck yeah, that's what we want. And you honestly, it's amazing because you really did it. I feel like pretty fast. I don't know. I'm sure there's people who grow channels faster than you did, but like I haven't grown anything that fast. Like Instagram's where I have my biggest following, and it's been like a trickle. Like I've been doing that very slowly. Like I know pretty much everyone who follows me, and I follow. You know, it's not like I've had a moment. TikTok, I had a moment where like I got 1,000 followers in a day. That was like the most thing that ever happened on anything. You know.
Yeah, I've been like super bad at like all social media. Like I've never like religiously just never really been good at it. Never was like ever super consistent on posting on stuff. Like even on like my personal stuff, I'm just like, yeah, it's here, whatever. Like, you know, like my personal Instagram now is like pictures of my kids, you know, like or like stuff like that. And even before I was not.
Oh, I didn't even know you have a personal Instagram. But
yeah,
like,
but you know,
I feel
so it's funny that like I did build my YouTube channel that it was. I mean, like I think about like relatively like, you know, I try to keep everything like nuanced. I'm like, okay, like I'm not comparing myself to like channels to talk about celebrities or channels to talk about rappers or, you know, NBA or, you know, whatever. I'm like, okay, compared to these are my peers. These are the YouTube channels that do comic book stuff, and you know, I kind of compare like my views to those channels, and I kind of see what they're doing, and you know, stuff like that. And that's where I kind of like keep my like bell curve at. So I think I did pretty good for my first like 2 years. So you know.
Oh, I was gonna ask it. Yeah, only 2 years. You're doing great, man. Yeah, I applaud you. And I feel like there has been a major cultural shift where everyone's kind of fed up with social media. Like it's no secret that we know it's bad for us, that we're all doom scrolling, and we're all trying to step back away from it. Because there was a moment where I was hitting every platform. I was using every platform. I was trying to like, you know, every day 2 or 3 posts per platform. And it's like running a Kickstarter. That's like way too much work, man. And then you're not doing the thing that you want to do. And like very few people that I know were like 14 years, like when I was 14, this shit didn't even exist. So this is like, this was never my dream. This is just what we have. And it's like a useful tool, you know, and like, but it's also a terrible, it's worse than a distraction. Like I'm like to this day, I'm like breaking records with how many hours I'm spending on my phone, man. And I'm like, this is so unhealthy, and I'm not doing my comic, you know, and I got to stop. But yeah, I feel like YouTube has proven that it's going to stick around. I think it's like really smart to focus a lot of energy on that one. And for me, like, I just love Instagram, and I still feel like even though TikTok like was such a big thing, and I have so many friends who like got crazy followings on TikTok, I still feel like the real heart is in Instagram, and most people's attention is still on Instagram. At least the people I know, which matters to me. Like I don't like, yeah, I want to like have a bunch of followers and make a living at this, but it matters way more to be connecting with the people who I actually know. Which is
Yeah,
that's
for
where,
sure.
that's where I'm at, you know.
Yeah, I could never get into TikTok. It was just too bothersome for me. Like my wife she loves it. She does it. So I mean, good for her. But like I do Instagram because I made this page, and I like being able to scroll all the way down and see where my artwork was at first to now. So it's pretty much like a artistic diary at this point for me. And I also don't really care that much about my Instagram, so I'm willing to just post whatever and not care. As where my YouTube is like, this is like where I'm like putting my craft, my mind, my heart and soul into making this channel and making sure I can, you know, do something with it, you know. So my YouTube channel is definitely like I said, a strategic thing. And then I ended up falling in love with the process of making videos and stuff like that, and you know, finding topics. And I'm also seeing like it's like another, like the secondary thing is kind of like seeing what people like and how what draws people's attention, and like just like, you know, figuring out how to make a thumbnail that captivates people's attention. You know, that's like a real big thing for me. I'm a real big thumbnail person. Like trying to find the right images to put together, and like, you know, working on my design skills. Like I literally like self-taught myself how to like design everything, and I use Affinity Designer. I literally just learned how to like, you know, crop stuff out and do all that stuff, and just try to see what other people are doing to make things interesting and eye-popping. And
What's
also that kind of like
Designer?
it's like it's kind of like Photoshop, but like a generic version, and it's cheap. It's not a subscription either. It's just straight like a one-time payment. So I bought the whole Affinity Designer suite. Affinity, it's called Affinity Suite for like probably like $150. It's like Affinity Designer, Publisher, Photo. So it's pretty much like Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, you know, all that shit. But it's just like a different version of it, and I use it on my iPad. And I literally use it just to format my pages for print, and then I use it to make my thumbnails and stuff like that, or like make my when I scan in my pages, I use it to like make my pages like the levels and shit like that. It's pretty much what people use Photoshop for. Essentially, is what I do, and I've like pretty much taught myself how to do everything on there like the last like year or so. So then but then that stuff, it translates over to like how I make a design for a cover now on comics, like what's gonna catch people's attention and like get people to want to pick up your comic and stuff like that. So it's kind of like I'm like learning hand in hand with that, you know. So it's, I mean,
Right.
it's been fun, man. I just, you know, all of it's been, you know, super interesting.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen you evolve to some extent. Maybe I feel like you were already kind of doing it when I first when you first joined the KFAM and I followed you, but yeah, man, I feel like I wanted to ask you how you're doing all that because I had an idea of something like that and I didn't know what the programs were. But I feel
Mhm.
like you've got everything streamlined where you're like you're spending just the right amount of time. You're not obsessing. You're not like wasting time, you know, because you are a dad, because you are trying to make a comic, because you are actually putting out like exceptionally good video essays and you're working. So it's like, yeah, you got to be smart about it, man. Like I'm trying to figure out how to get smarter myself. I've
I just try to find
The Adobe Suite's a subscription, and it's I don't want to say it's clunky. I'm very comfortable with it, but I have a feeling like you're like much faster than I am at all this stuff.
it's just honestly, it's been like trial and error, and just
Yeah.
like finding pockets of time and throughout the day to like, you know, figure out how I'm gonna learn to do something or like when is the best time for me to like do the things I need to do. Like and like same thing. My process for like doing videos is just like, all right, I'm gonna take like this weekend for example, like starting tomorrow, I'm going to start working on my script for my next video and try to have it done hopefully by like Saturday, and then try to start filming or record at least Sunday, and then
Wow, man.
you know, try to have it out by the end of the week, you know? Like
Yeah,
always
you
at
more
least
than
have
most people, you're like you communicate, hey, I have this thing I'm going to do, and you do it, and like quicker than most people. Because some people, you know, I'm pretty good at doing what I say I'm going to do, but these days it's taking me a really long time, and some people never do it, and you're just like, yeah, I'm going to do it, and then like less than a week goes by and you've already done it. Like the fact that you're already finishing issue 3 is just like what? I remember when you were drawing issue 1. Are you kidding?
yeah.
Like,
I feel like it's like a subtle like form of like anxiety or something like this. Like I gotta keep myself busy in order to like
good.
feel like I'm doing something productive throughout the day because I feel like, you know, my day is also like, you know, as a parent, your day is preoccupied by a lot of things that are outside of you, you know, saying like the kids, you know, your wife, you know, my job. So like being able to like settle my day with now I can sit here and just draw or I can sit here and just write or record or like, you know, edit or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And then like with
Yeah.
editing now it's like my goal is to like figure out how to do it faster and to be more efficient, and then like maybe hopefully once I make more money I can hire people to help edit or you know, and every time same thing when I do my comics, my videos is like I want to try to do something different each video and then try to do something different in my comics. So like my next goal for my next video is to like figure out a best way to do like different intros style, writing style for this next video, and then a different editing style, you know. And then well, my next comic that I'm gonna do after I'm done with the fourth issue AWOL, I already have like a one shot. I'm planning. I want to try to do either ink wash or like do like marker, like gray tone markers
Nice.
on instead of doing like digital gray tones. Just to try out
Awesome.
different tools and stuff like that. So I always like I feel like mixing it up kind of keeps it fun, you know, things like that. So, but it is
Yo,
definitely like.
I want to read some of these comments because we got a couple good ones that came in. My friend Brendan Wisecarver said that Instagram is about to have another boom when TikTok goes away in September. And, you know, we'll see if it actually goes away because that's
Yeah,
been, you know, it's like, remember that night it went away for like 24 hours and then like if you deleted it, apparently you weren't able to reinstall it on your phone. So people were
selling their phones for it and stuff.
exactly.
Yeah, I saw that.
I feel like you might have put that in one of your videos, man. But, but yeah, then my homie Michael Trice says, YouTube is the most watched platform and growing. Um,
Mm.
and just shout out artwork by Kerr because he's awesome. He's in here. And then Brendan followed up with YouTube equals cable TV for anyone born after 1985. TBH. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm essentially like a YouTuber. So, like I literally like only watch YouTube. Like I have because I watch like certain like live streamers who do like NBA
Yeah.
stuff. So like there's like people I watch they do like videos or they do live streams or like podcasting or whatever shows like every day of the week. So and
Yeah.
then like some I follow a couple people who drop videos and I'll go watch those. Obviously, I'll have like tutorials. Like my watch list is always long. I always have videos sitting near my watch later list,
Yeah, I
and I
know.
was like, if I have nothing to watch, I go back and watch that. Or, and then, you know, I'll watch movies and shows sometimes, but it has to be like somebody has to like really recommend it, or like I have to see like a lot of like interesting people talking about it a lot. So I'm like, all right, let me go watch that. Because, but I just don't
Take
like.
this with a grain of salt because I know you get a lot of, I'm sure you get a lot of advice and people recommending things. But I highly, highly recommend watching Andor, and I highly recommend reading all of Akira. Those are like, to me, those are two of the best things ever made. And I wonder if you would agree. Because I would love to hear your insight on them after you check them out, man.
On Andor and Akira.
Yeah, no pressure. I mean, do it at your own, you know, when you're ready, because you're already doing a lot. But
My
I
problem
would
with
love to.
reading comics is that like I will be like, all right, I'm gonna check this out, and then I end up seeing something else. I'm like, oh, that looks even better. I might try. Like right now,
Yeah.
I got like Eddie P's book, so I've been reading that.
Which one?
Switchblade
Oh, the new
Stories.
one.
Yeah, I
Switchblade
just got it in
Story.
the mail like a day ago.
Yeah.
So I've been
Same
reading
here.
that one, and I'm like, because I remember when he was posting on Instagram, and I was keeping up with him there, so now I'm like reading it.
Yeah.
And then I just bought the omnibus of Chew. So I'm
I
like,
gotta get. Yeah, I started that. I gotta get into that too.
yeah, some of us are reading that.
What a great concept.
Yeah, I was like,
Love
this is
that.
interesting video. And then now I've been looking at Kaya, because they had Wes
Yeah.
Craig on the Ink Pulp the other day, and I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
And I was watching his YouTube channel.
I'm waiting for the collections to come out on that one, man.
Yeah, so I was like, man, like, cause he does like, I was watching his YouTube channel because I guess he just made one, and he does like these he does water ink wash, but he's like a blue ink wash on it for some reason. So I was like, dude, this is cool. So that's like, now I really want to learn how to do that too next. Like I was like, man, I'm like I was really I was like comic book art. I really love watercolor, so it's like something I want to like in the future like really dive into. But yeah, so like I always have a problem like my pile of like books I want to read and stuff like that. It's just gets bigger and bigger. So like when I like, oh, I'm on this, and then I just I end up adding the book on my list, and then I start like my weekly pickups and stuff like that too. So it's
Are you participating in the Kayfam summer reading thing? Are you doing that?
Well, I looked at the list and I had already read a lot of those books already, so it's like,
oh, nice.
And also I'm super focused on doing my stuff, so it's like I don't want to take too much time to read. And then like I said, I'm gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna buy all these books, I'm gonna check all these books out, and then
right,
I end up finding a different book in between time that I'm like, well, I kind of want to read this now, so
yeah.
It's kind of fucked up. Like I did that, like I was reading, Dandadan.
I haven't read it, but yeah, I know it.
But like, so I bought
it's highly recommended.
Yeah, it's really good. So like these designs of the covers are super cool. Like they have like really cool covers. But I was reading Dandadan, and then I got caught up because I bought the first 6 volumes. I bought it, read it, and then I waited a couple months to like for the rest of the other Takabans to come out, and then I bought up to like 12 or 13, and then I read up to 12 right now, and then I took a break and I've been like reading other books in between. But I'm still like seeing them on my like printer right now. I'm like, I gotta finish reading those. So eventually I'll read Akira, because I have the first 3 volumes of Akira here. I've had them for like a long time. I've had them since like high school, and I never really read all of them. I just like looking at the artwork. I even have a Japanese version of it. I found at Half Price Books a long time ago.
Oh, nice.
I just have them there, and because I remember when I first watched Akira, I watched a video about how much different the manga is from the movie, and I was like, damn, man, like I need to read it, but I never really got
I would say more rather than it's different, I would say it's just abridged. Like it's just like it goes so fast. It's like it leaves so much out. Like the manga has room to breathe. Mm-hmm. So it's just like this, it hits you harder. And like I said, there's literally like it's a post-apocalyptic world, and then there's an apocalypse within the apocalypse in Akira. And Akira is a character. Another major difference is Akira is actually a character. He's alive. He's a little kid in the manga, which, spoiler, in the movie, he's just a bunch of body parts cut up and kept in a
like a tube or whatever. Yeah, I remember. So like I've always wanted to read it, and eventually I know I'm going to read it. It's just like I just haven't took out the time. Like, okay, I'm not going to read anything else. I'm just going to read Akira, and that's it.
Yeah, you gotta do it on your own terms, because don't ruin it. Like make sure it's like a good time in your life. Make sure you can enjoy it.
And I know it's one of those books that I don't want to start and then like not read for a while and then pick it back up, because I know it's gonna fuck me up. Like I did that with this manga right here. It's called Monster. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Sorry, Jeremy.
By
Monster?
Yeah, it's a manga. It's by
I haven't read it.
Urasawa. He did 20th Century Boy Monster, and like he does a lot of.
I love Urasawa. Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, Urasawa. Yeah, so this is like one of the best like manga ever. Apparently, like it's like one of the highest rated ones. And I bought the whole set, and I read like the first 3 books, and then I was like, oh, I gotta take a break. And it's been like months. It's been like months. I was trying to pick it back up, and I'm like, fuck, like I don't want to.
That's where I'm at with 21st Century Boys. I've read the first book like 3 times already, and it's like.
Yeah, I have all the 20th Century Boys also. I like that series, for me at least, was like one of the only comics that I've read, and I was like, I don't want to stop reading it. Like there was like so many twists and turns. And I was like, oh my god, I gotta keep reading. I want to find out what's going on.
I gotta do the solid read through. I can't. Yeah, it's definitely don't do that to Akira. Like, but don't do that to anything. I've become very good at reading comics again, because I was out of it for a long time, and that's where it would be so hard to pick them up again, because you start, you read, you stop reading, 2 months goes by. I don't know about you. I don't remember anything anymore. So like, I used to have a very good memory. I'm getting older and like, I'll just forget everything now. So yeah, you got to read it all the way through. The art of reading comics, it's its own thing, man. I've discovered that like you can't really get people into comics if they didn't love them as a kid or if they don't want to really love it, because it is like its own exercise. I would say it's like you have its own language, really.
Yeah, for sure. Like because there's people who would like a good example like manga and anime. People always talk about like like they have like such fluidity with each other because people who watch anime will read the manga, and that's not always necessarily true. But if it is true, it's like people will be like a fan of One Piece and just only want to read One Piece and just like
Right.
not anything else. So they're not really manga fans; they're just like a fan of One Piece. Same thing with like Naruto or Dragon Ball Z. Like they'll really like those series, but they aren't really gonna go and like read anything else. Like people are superhero fans; like they like the movies, but they're not necessarily gonna go and
if the people who love the movies were reading the comics, Marvel and DC would be doing way better than they are. And correct me if I'm wrong. I think you made a movie showing how bad they're actually doing compared to anime and maybe you didn't make that video. I don't know, but yeah,
those videos too, but
it doesn't. It just doesn't translate, man. Yo, Kerr, have a good night, man. Kerr was. Have you heard of the book he was talking about, Samurai Champloo?
Yeah, it's an anime. It's like one of like the earlier ones. It came out like in the early 2000s, 90s. It's really, you haven't seen it. It's really, really good. It's like it's like 13 episodes long. It's about like these two samurai who like complete opposites. Like one's like this wild, like crazy samurai, and the other one's more of like a composed, like real, like methodical samurai. And then they're like trying to help this like girl find this other samurai to defeat and stuff like that. And then it's really, really good. It's by I think the same person that made Cowboy Bebop made.
Oh yeah.
It's really dope. Yeah, I'll check it out, man. Damn, you weren't really into manga growing up in anime?
Me? When I was growing up, there was some in the comic store I went to and that I worked at. But what did I read? I read some. I definitely read some, but I feel like it's changed. Like there's definitely like a whole new generation of younger anime creators and people who love anime, mostly love the newer stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had a really good comic store. My hometown comic store was very good. Shout out Fourth World Comics. And in addition to the fact that he did have a manga section, he also had all these bootleg VHS of, we called it Japanimation back in the day. It wasn't anime. And he had everything. So like it was cool. I was able to rent, or I didn't even have to rent because I worked there. I would just bring all the anime home and my friends and I would watch, like, that's how we watched Dragon Ball Z in Japanese without any commercial interruptions, because like watching that on whatever, I forget what it was on, that was insane. Like, because it's already so stretched out as it is, and then you got to break it up with commercials and wait till next week. That was like, I couldn't handle that, man. So I was able to like get all these VHS tapes and we would just watch Dragon Ball Z from front to back, like very quickly, which was awesome.
That's crazy. Yeah, I definitely think my generation definitely got like the better load of like watching anime and stuff like that. But I mean, it was still a little rough. But like, if you were really into it, you were able to find ways to watch it. So, like, I was able to go like to websites and watch, bootleg, videos and stuff, or movies or episodes of like whatever. And then back in the day, early YouTube days, there's a lot of like episodes of like cartoons and stuff on YouTube, so you will be able to watch it on YouTube. Back in like whatever.
I miss those days, man.
So,
now you just got to go to the illegal sites, but like,
or get a subscription to whatever. Because now anime's on everything. Now it's on Netflix, Hulu, Crunchyroll, whatever. You can watch it anywhere now. That's why I feel like that's another reason why it's kind of like big, because people are easy access to watching this stuff. But
totally.
Most of the time, it's really just like the same like 3 or 4 series that are still gonna stay big, like a Dragon Ball Z or Naruto, One Piece, or Bleach, that are like universally people just love. But then like there will be like 1 to 2 people who are like super into manga or anime, and then they're gonna like dive into all the other weird stuff that goes on about in that world.
Have you heard about, or do you know about the fact that Dragon Ball is such an important thing to Japan's economy that they have to keep it alive, like they can't let it stop? Did you see anything about that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, man, I made a video, I think, about how like manga is like one of the biggest exports out of Japan. That like it's like one of the biggest things there. Like that's like the big, like outside like technology stuff like that. It's like one of the biggest things they send out. I made a video about how piracy kind of like helped the manga and anime industry, and how like piracy essentially like kept it afloat to like bring it over to like America and to Europe because of how hard it was for like us to get it.
That's
And
how
then like
I watched it. What I just told you was
yeah,
like
exactly.
now
Same
I
with
can say it
everybody.
because it doesn't happen anymore. But he was renting bootleg VHS tapes, man. It was like, yeah,
But yeah, so that like yeah, but yeah, yeah, I saw that it was a post about that. I saw where Dragon Ball Z, I mean, I believe it because they just like Dragon Ball Z is everywhere, you know, and they just make so
so
much
beloved.
stuff money out of it. Like it's so bastardized everywhere. I mean, they just had like a cereal box line of it. Like last year, they've had,
Oh
you
yeah,
know, I don't think they're ever gonna stop making like series or like
yeah,
remastering stuff and bringing it back out, new box sets, new this, new that. You know, they kind of just like
yeah.
they have to, you know.
Yo, let's bring it back to AWOL for a bit, man.
Yeah.
Like the influences on AWOL, or just let's just talk about AWOL, you know, before the night gets away from us. Because like I'll let you describe it because I know there's like a kaiju element to it, but maybe you do me a favor and just you describe AWOL and
Yeah, I
what
got you.
people
Yeah.
can expect.
So it's kind of like what I like to say is like it's Ultraman meets Berserk, especially with the first issue. So the way I wrote it was the first issue is essentially like a self-contained story. So you get a front and back story completely without having to want to go and read the next, you know, couple issues. But if you
Yeah,
do read the next couple issues, you will get a bigger world. And even in the first issue, I sprinkle in little details that kind of mention the bigger world outside of what's going on in the first issue. But it definitely takes a lot of influence from like manga stuff like that, like the Takusatsu, like Ultraman, or like you know the people or Power Rangers where they power up and like they grow into like big monsters or like you know mech suits and stuff like that. And I really like the aspect of like drawing monsters and like the idea of like kind of like the villain of the week type idea. So like
yeah,
in a wall, like at least with the first, you know, each issue there's gonna be a different type of monster that like he's gonna fight, and then eventually we'll like you know, a little spoiler, like in the next couple issues, we'll be introduced to other people who can do this, who has the same ability as him. So that's why I'm really hoping that we get to the second stretch goal, so I can give the second issue because the second issue, the way I wrote it, ends on a cliffhanger. So like it would be like you know, it would be cool. And I'm honestly kind of like pondering with the idea of just making it like the first issue is just one big issue, you know, like a triple size issue, and like make it like the perfect bound, you know, spine, and just give it like an 80-page book, just you know. So
yeah.
I might do that, but I don't want to waste like the cover. You know, I want to make the cover, you know, have its own like collected, you know, its own thing. But
You
we'll
should,
see
yeah.
how that works.
It's
But yeah,
tricky.
so essentially it's
Tricky
just gonna
the way we do it indie because you know I think it's smart to do Kickstarters for every issue, but once you get to that trade paperback, it's like the issue before the trade paperback. There's like zero incentive at that point to buy that issue. You know,
yeah.
like already people are just supporting you out of love because basically everybody just wants trade paperbacks. You know, like
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like they sell better too. Like at cons and stuff like that, people are much rather like you know
oh for
willing to
sure,
buy
man.
that because I feel like they get more bang for their buck. But yeah, so I mean, AWOL, that's what it's gonna be. And what I want to do with AWOL is just like do kind of like whatever. You know, like I want to have fun. So like I wanted like in this first arc, I wanted to establish the world the best I can. So where now after the first arc, I'm already thinking about like the next arc. But so
No,
each arc is gonna be about like 4 issues arcs, and then like I want to be able to just do like the wildest, craziest things in each arc, and then just have fun with it. That's why I'm like I read like Chainsaw Man and Dandadan, those type of mangas where like in those series they kind of just do whatever. Like essentially what they do is they establish the world really quick. These are the rules. This is what's kind of happening. Like in Dandadan, like the first issue is like all right, some people have powers. There's aliens and there's ghosts. And that's pretty much it. And like this is kind of like what this main character wants and stuff like that. And it's with like there's a love thing going on, and then that's kind of like it. And then like each chapter is like a new, different, interesting thing that's going on, and like that's kind of getting in the way of their mission or whatever. So that's kind of like what I want to do with AWOL, and also just want to like have an ongoing thing. Like I don't like I'm not gonna be making a chapter or an issue every month, you know, but I want to be able to put like a book a year for AWOL. So like my goal is for next year to have AWOL 2 done by like this time next year, and then
you're talking about put
one.
out a trade paperback every year.
Yeah, just like manga style, like just put out a trade every year, and then
Yeah,
maybe if I feel like it, I'll do a single issue thing. But like I said, I feel like when it comes to like selling stuff, I feel like people are gonna want to buy a 120, 160 page book compared to like a floppy, which you know, the indie world, you selling a floppy, you can't just sell it for like $5. You have to sell it for more, and people are
yeah,
just
it's so
like,
frustrating.
yeah, like I don't want to spend $10 on a 24-page book, and that's why I always try to make my floppies double sized. Also, like all of my books are essentially they're none of them are 24 pages. They're all like 48, 60 something pages
Yeah,
because I feel like people will be more incentivized to want to get it. But just the look of the floppy or of the tray just looks better in general. You know, people are just like, oh, this is a real book. It's not just a magazine. You know,
Yeah.
because I don't even think people even like. A lot of people aren't floppy collectors. A lot of people collect just collections or you know what I'm saying, like stuff like that. I feel like that's
Yeah.
more of the trend now. You know, so
Yeah, I feel like the only people who really collect floppies are indie people who are just we're all just supporting each other,
mm-hmm.
or people who are collecting like like you did the one on Peach Momoko, like people who are trying to like resell the ones that are going to be worth something.
Yeah, for sure.
It, it's like I'll go to the comic store and buy some floppies just to be like aware of what's happening. But I can't even afford to do that. Like it's just not possible. It's like I gotta be very picky with it.
Yeah, I'm definitely like the only floppies I buy now or like from artists that I really like to see is like, you know, Daniel Johnson when he drops something. I don't want to wait till the
Yeah,
trade. Like I'd rather just go buy it
he's
now.
that good, right? You just can't
Yeah,
wait.
there's like certain people who I'm like they're on my list of like I have to must buys. Even if I'm not even like caring like about that character, I'm not a Batman reader, but I've been reading Batman, Absolute Batman because Nick Dragata, his artwork is super dope. You know, so
Yeah,
I
he's
thought
he's
you
really
know that's
killing that. Yeah.
so, but even at this point, it's like I'm like 10 issues into it. I'm like I don't want to collect every fucking issue. I don't want to have 100 issues of Batman Absolute.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
just did issue one. I'm gonna collect the trades, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
I missed the
that's kind of
Martian
like
Manhunter issue one. I really wanted that cover. I just wasn't paying attention.
I've been keeping up with that one. That comic is so fucking fire, man. It's
Yo,
super
what up,
dope.
Jerk Comic? You know Jerk Comic, man?
Jerk.
Yeah, he's in the
Oh yeah,
case.
yeah. I
Brian
like his
invited
videos
him
too.
in. Yeah.
You said what?
Brian invited him into the Kayfam too.
Oh yeah.
He's in
Yeah, I
there.
like. Yeah,
He's
he's one of the
also
first
got
channels I found on YouTube.
yeah,
To
he's
watch
got an
on.
excellent channel. Great interviews. He's done also very long. He's done super long video essays, man. How
Yeah,
how many videos are the max? I want to say it's like 4 videos.
or I watched every single one.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, I really like that. That's like I think that's like his most like
Yeah,
known video because he did like he probably has like the best video on like the whole totality of like the Max and Sam Keith and stuff like that. Like he does really good research and stuff.
that's
He
just
does
pure
that
love, man.
one. Yeah,
So
it
you
really
can't.
is. He does a lot of good videos. You know,
Yeah,
he should definitely have more love on his channel. But he does a pretty good job.
yeah, man. I never really asked you. Sometimes I go long on this. I want to ask you like how much longer you want to go because I'm down to go longer. But if you need to wrap it up, let me know, man.
We can do like 10 more minutes and then yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think everything you're doing the right way, man. I really applaud it, and everything from the way you're like structuring your YouTube channel to the way you're actually churning out comics. Like you might be younger than me, but you are my hero, man. I'm like super impressed,
I
and
appreciate it.
it's great to have a guy like you in the group because discipline is what we need, and discipline and consistency, man. I feel like that's a big part of it.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. And I mean, even like, I really appreciate you doing the cover. Like I was saying earlier, like I really appreciate everybody who's contributed to this campaign in one way or the other. Even if some people haven't backed or are not, can't afford to back, just them going to the page and checking out, them sharing it and stuff like that. I think that's super dope. Like everyone who gave me a cover, and I've been getting a lot of pinups and stuff too lately, which has been super cool. I wanted to do that because I saw like when Brunson put his book out, he did the Ghost Man, and like he saw like a lot of people doing pinups. So I was like, that's pretty cool because I feel like it makes it more of a community thing now than instead of
Yeah,
just like an individual thing.
the
So I just
cosmic
think it's cool.
line, the cosmic line community is tight like that, man.
Yeah,
Everybody,
they all
everybody's just trading pinups. It's nuts.
yeah they're
I
all
got it. I got published a lot through Cosmic Line last year, just doing pinups, and
yeah.
that's what
I
I
was in
wanted.
the last Ghost Man issue because I was like, yeah, it's cool. So I think it just makes people hyped even more to like want to see their
Yeah,
artwork printed out and stuff like that. Maybe it'll give somebody the opportunity to see their work first time being printed or like whatever. Give other people's eyes on people's work that might not know and stuff like that. So I just
yeah,
think it's just like a cool thing, and then just seeing people draw your own character in their own rendition, I think that's also really really cool. So
yeah,
yeah,
man.
it's been fun, and then like again, you draw hella good. So like I can't wait to
Thank you,
you get
brother.
get some more pages out, man. I'm really 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 interested to see it and see all that stuff. Because
Can't wait either,
you
man.
said you haven't been drawing for that long, but for me, whenever I see your post on Instagram, I'm like, dude, this guy, he must be a professional. Like, where did he come
No,
from? Like,
no, I said I've got back into art and comics, but I've been doing it my whole life. Like I
yeah,
really just focused more on video for a stretch, but I was still making art. I was
yeah,
still drawing. I just kind of like gave up on my like I decided as a filmmaker I'm not a good enough artist to make a comic or be the animator, so I'm going to be the director. And I went down that path for a stretch. And then one day I woke up, I was like, no, I want to be the artist. I want to do it. I really love it that much, you know. So I never gave up on it or anything. And that's what I love about all the comic creators, like the fact that we kind of do wear all the hats, and it is such a labor of love, because it's pretty insane to be doing all that yourself. But there's no other way, and it's like it's got to be a lot of love. You got to love it to do it, man.
Yeah, that's a fact. That is definitely, yeah, it is a labor of love. It's definitely like I was saying earlier, like I love being able to see like the work that I put into like the pages and stuff like that be on a printed page and like be able to read through it and stuff like that. Even if like
Yeah.
I had to make a book like last year and I haven't looked at it in a while, I pick it up and like, damn, I can't really make this. Like this is cool. Like that I was able to make it.
Which
and then, like,
which one are you talking about?
is all of them, man. Like the Spider-Man
Yeah.
book I made last year. That was the first book I ever did physically. I printed
That
out.
I don't
on,
have,
like, a
because
Dusty
I think
thing.
I have two of your other books, but I don't have that one.
Yeah, because I had sold out of it like a long time ago. I just did reprints of it uh, a couple months ago for like just to have it because I had when I first made it for the first when I first printed it, I only printed the first like 20 some pages, but the book is like 60 pages long, so I reprinted it with all 60 pages of it. So um, I put it on my website, but I never like promote it too much. But I put it on my Kickstarter, and I've gotten like at least like 5 or 6 people who added on to their backing. So that's probably that's pretty cool. And that comic I had so much fun just making because I was just doing a bunch of wild shit in there with like Marvel characters, and that's like when
Nice.
I'm doing AWOL, that's what I'm gonna do again. I'm gonna do another like part 2, but not with Spider-Man, but with like Captain America. Like I'm gonna just
Nice,
do
man.
like a Captain America book of him fighting like zombies and monsters like in Nazi Germany and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I've been like thinking about like that story. Like I always want to keep doing making a comic and stuff like that. Like all the stuff. Like if I'm not having fun, I don't want to like do it. So like I definitely just like outside just doing bootlegs and doing AWOL, I always want to do different stuff. So.
Yeah. Dude, that's like a major thing that's happening right now. I feel like obviously Jim Mahfood's like killing that game of going back and forth between his own stuff and then a bootleg with an like, knockoff is too diminishing of a term, but you know what it is. More adult versions of these characters, I guess you would say.
Yeah,
Did
I
you,
definitely
did you
got
check out
inspired
his
by Jeremy's Batman stuff when he was doing all those
Oh
Batman
yeah.
like Snow and all that stuff. I was like, that's a good
Batman.
idea. I should do like a book, like a bootleg book of like a prominent character because that's gonna get people's eyes and attention and stuff like that. So I think that Spider-Man definitely like helped a lot, and then it kind of just went from there with me just doing a lot of original ideas and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome, man. Shout out Jeremy Heiler because he's another beast in the game.
Yeah, he's killing it.
Definitely gonna have him on here. He's I can't wait for his like creator owned book though. That thing's gonna be awesome. I'm all about creator owned more than I'm loving the bootlegs, but I really want people to make their own creator owned thing where there's no question that they own it. There's no like indication that it might be a Captain America or Spider-Man or something. But I applaud whatever you do. I'm gonna get it. I'll pick it up, whatever it is, man.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think because I know there were other things I want to talk about. I want to make sure I'm not forgetting anything really important though. I guess we could wrap up just by reminding people to visit the Kickstarter and how much longer is it live for, or what date is it over?
So the last day is August 10th. So it's about like pretty much about a week left for the campaign. So like we were talking about earlier, we hit the first stretch goal. So
10 days. Yeah.
Everybody's gonna get the sticker pack. The book is completely done. So essentially, you're just gonna back the book. The fund is literally just gonna go to printing the book and then shipping costs and stuff like that. You're going to be giving out issues of Neon Spring #0. So if you back the book, you're going to get 2 books plus some stickers. And then we hit that second stretch goal, which we're really close to.
We're so close.
Yeah, you'll get AWOL #1, AWOL #2, Neon Spring, and then the stickers. So that's like 3 books plus a sticker. So you're going to get a bang for your buck. So if you guys are interested and want to go check out the campaign, the link is in my bio of my Instagram page. And then, all that stuff. So there's still time. There's a lot of time left to go and check out the page. And there's a lot of cool incentives. Like you gave me a cover. Jeremy gave me a cover. Brian gave me a cover. A bunch of dope, covers and stuff like that. You can buy all the covers. You can get original art from me. I have mini prints that I'm also have on the page. So it's a lot of stuff, man.
I want to ask you. Forgive me if this is an annoying question and suggestion. But have you like DM'd people? Did you DM people the link to the Kickstarter? or you're avoiding that?
No, hell no. I would definitely, I was DMing everybody. I was hitting everybody up. Like, I don't
You
care.
already
Like,
did?
I'm shameless. I don't care. Like,
All right, good.
it
Because
doesn't like
that's
bother
how
me.
I know. That's how I know I had a successful Kickstarter. Like more than like 75% of it was just I DM people and then they backed me. So just want to make sure you're doing that.
Yeah, hard sell, man. I have no shame. Like, it's not like I'm
Good.
not embarrassed. Like, I feel like if you show people that you're proud of what you're doing, they'll, But the thing I feel like is annoying about Instagram is that they made it hard to like, for people to see your DMs now. Like, if they don't mutually follow each other and stuff like that, it automatically just goes to their request, and like, you don't know if people check their DMs that much or their request folder like that. Sometimes it shows up. Sometimes there's like, I'll get DMs from people and it won't show up in my request until like days later, and I'm like,
Oh yeah,
and,
yeah.
I also like hit up a lot of people to like do live streams with them, like YouTubers and stuff like that, and a lot of them never hit me back, which I mean, it's fine, it's whatever, like I don't care, but like it would have been
I mean,
nice.
I can't really be like a promo for everybody's Kickstarter, like I got people hitting me up for that, and I want to help everybody, but I just can't do it.
Oh yeah, you don't have time,
Yeah. Jerk Comics says, drop him a link, hit him, DM him after this, man.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm pretty sure I follow you, Jerk, man. The funny thing about Jerk's Comics is that he put me on to a lot of indie people. Like, I found Brunson through his page.
Oh,
like,
sick,
he posted Ghostman on there. I was like, what the fuck is it? Him,
Ghost,
Victor Alp. He showed me a lot of different people. Like, he definitely does a lot of good work, like getting people out there and stuff like that. Like, man, and like I said, I watched a lot of his channel too. So if I'll send you a link to my channel also, Jerk. You can check it out, man. Maybe we can collab on a video or something like that, like our concept, because he has a lot of knowledge.
You guys both have two very solid channels, man. Excellent work. And Neon Spring, I got 5 new pages of Neon Spring coming out through Cosmic Lions Anthology. It's called Leon Cosmique. I'll definitely be sharing that. That'll be coming out long before issue 1 comes out. But yeah, man. So I'm gonna make sure I put this up on YouTube like in the next few days so that you get a little extra help, because people, it's hard for people to digest these Instagram lives. So I'll make sure I get that up, and we'll try to get you some more backers before this thing closes out, man. Because I really want you to hit that second stretch goal, man. That would be awesome.
Oh, yeah, for sure, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate you having me on. And then I'm gonna try to do a live stream for my closeout. So it might be like sometime like next week or like in this week. I'm trying to do a stream with Brian, because I got like a new webcam. So I'm trying to do like a drawing stream. Maybe we can do like a drawing stream together.
I'm down, man.
Just talk,
I have a pretty clear schedule for the next 10 days, so let me know.
Yeah, it's like last week, man. Those first like week before I got funded was kicking my ass. Like, I was like super stressing and stuff.
Dude, I know all about it, man.
I had to do as many live streams and do all this stuff and try to work on my energy, and then I burnt out. Once I hit the goal, I was like, all right, now I'm just gonna take a break.
But honestly, that's like part of the learning curve. It's like you hit it really hard at the beginning. Nobody's like jumping up the whole time. Like it dies in the middle anyway, no matter what. So yeah, you pace yourself, and then you want to push hard at the end again. So you're doing it right.
That's what I'm doing right now. But yeah, man, I appreciate you having me on.
Dude, thank you for coming on.
Oh yeah, man. All right, go.
We're gonna be talking more. We're gonna be working together more. Peace and love to you, man. You're an inspiration.
I appreciate it, man.
All right, man. Have a good night, Kova.
All right, you too, man.
Peace.